Welcome back. Another episode of Casey Campbell's Videocast right here and right now. We are now joined by Chase Cabre, the driver of the number 4 Toyota for Rev Racing. Chase, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. So we're heading into this, this final ARCA East race. This is it for you this season and for your time at Rev. Because it's the end of just explain what the program is at Rev about that.
Yeah, so pretty much you get 3 years as a developmental driver in the ARCA series. So now if you go, for instance, like some of my teammates, Raja and Perry, and them in the late model, that doesn't count towards your 4-year. It's 4 years K&N/ARCA max. And it's 3-year max as a developmental driver, and then 1 year as just a driver under Max Siegel's canopy. And so that's how the format works. And I'm in my final year. And so, yeah, I got one last rodeo left, and we'll go make the most of it.
So you've had a pretty good, we've seen you around a long time. Of course, your brother Colin, of course, came before you. And first off, before we get into that, how is he doing?
He's doing good. He's just dealing with all the cancer stuff. He's got a couple more rounds of chemo to go before he gets another test to see if it's completely gone or if we have to keep going through chemo. So he's doing well. He's in good spirits. He just came with me racing up in New Jersey last weekend. So he's doing good.
All right. Well, of course, everyone here is thinking about Colin, of course, but you've had a fun time at Rev. Of course, everybody. There's two things that I think I kind of want to point to. The win at Memphis, that was big. How big was that for you to get that win last year at Memphis?
It just kind of
Gibbs and Sam Mayer and everybody else in that field.
Yeah, it kind of solidified that I could do it for me. There was a point where I got really down on myself, just like as a driver. Like am I not getting it done? Like, am I that bad? And you just start to wear on yourself. You're not winning. You see new kids come in and win all the time and make it look easy, and they're a great opportunity to do so. But for me, it was like just trying to kind of solidify it and then to do it. And you look at the results, and it's me, Ty Gibbs, Tanner Gray, Sam Mayer, Max McLaughlin, I think. Like, you look at 4 guys who in the racing world are very well respected and very well known and go on to win a lot of races. And it just lets me know, yeah, I could do it any given day. You just have to be given the right opportunity, the right race car to make it happen.
There's another thing I want to discuss with you, and I think you know what that is. The biggest memory from what I take away is the battle that you had with, the one, the only Sam Mayer last year. Everyone kind of talks about that, and how did that all start?
It started just as a rivalry, like any rivalry does. We were the 2 cars to beat every week. We had Doug Howe, and he had Marty Lindley. And Doug Howe and Marty Lindley spent years and years together on the pull down and developing the front end when they both worked at MDM. So realistically, we came very similar to the 21 probably every week as far as setup wise goes. And just not because they talked to each other, but just similarities because they worked so long together on that package. Now this year, the package has totally changed. But last year, because the new rule changes, but last year we were very similar to the 21 often. And so, it felt like it was on me to go out there and beat him. And now there was times where he was really good. And then there was times where I was really good. And he won total of 4 or 5 races. And I should have very easily won 4. I won 2. And then Gateway happened, New Hampshire. So I definitely should have won 4 New Smyrna as well. So if you take away the bad luck of putting a bad set of tires on New Hampshire after leading the whole race, the kill switch failing with 30 to go at Gateway, and the rear end failing while leading the race at New Smyrna, you put us both at 5 wins. So I think that's where it kind of aspired from, was just the fact that we were going to go at each other because we knew we both had equal opportunity to go win it. And then from there, it just started leading itself on, moving itself up the ladder. And then we started to get to race each other. And I can't remember the first instance of when we ran each other hard. Iowa, I think. Yeah, that was it. Iowa, we battled for the win the whole race. He was definitely better than I was. And for sure he was way better than us. But I was able to capitalize on some starts just because of my I've done it for so long, my veteranship. I've been a part of the sport and the series and know how to take advantage just because I've done it for so long experience. And so I would, get out in front of him and run his line, take his line away. And then we touched on the final restart, and that kind of brought it to, a next level. And then it started to get more and more and more. And then, it went on. But it was all in fun at the end of it. I said it in an interview last week. It's something that I'll probably take out, of one of the best points was the rivalry with Sam. It was fun. He's a good little kid. He's a good little driver. We've obviously made up now, but it's cool to see him have success. And I think he's a really good kid. I should say I think he's a really good driver. And I think, just maturity as he goes along is going to help him so much. And I see him doing really well in this sport for himself.
Do you have a favorite memory from all that? What was like the best thing that, is there like one particular moment from that rivalry that you remember most?
Yeah, Watkins Glen. I was behind. We were battling for third. Max McGoughlin was like in a spaceship for a race car, so he was gone. Tanner Gray was running second. He was in another spaceship, and then you had me, and there was a little pack of us battling for third, and I knew I was better than Sam through the bus stop. I was way better than him through the bus stop, and he would actually pull me through turn one and up the S. He'd pull me aero wise, like I would get aero tight and have to lift and stuff like that. So he was better than me through those sections, but I was way better in the carousel and in the bus stop. So I spent like 2 or 3 laps behind him trying to just get close enough to make the move, and I never could. So like I'd had enough. We'd battled enough. We'd race each other hard enough. So like I get to him through the bus stop. I got a really good bus stop coming to the carousel, and I'm like half Colin him, and I just throttle up. Like I just throttled up and jacked my car sideways, move him up the racetrack. He goes sliding all the way to the top. I go all the way up. I'm downshifting back down to second. Things completely out sideways. And then I drive out of it. And that was probably one of the cool moments, one of the fun moments. And I was like, that was sick.
I remember that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So, heading into this last race, did you ever, obviously, what's next for you after this?
So I'm working on a couple things as far as what's next. I mentioned a Davy Siegel. I think I did. I'm not sure that I might go USAC or sprint car racing when at 360 on dirt. But my plans has changed as of recently. I'm not going to do that. I don't think you'll see me in a race car at all next year. I have some other things I'm working on business-wise and some things I'm doing. So at this point, as a race car driver, I'm not going to make it in my career. Like, that's fine. I'm okay with that. As far as a race car driver is concerned, like, I'm not going to be a cup driver, and I understand that. So at this point, racing is a materialistic object that I can always come back to. Like, if there's no end goal to make it, if I'm just racing to have fun and race, why not take a year or two off and develop a business for myself and work on that side of it? And in 2 years, a year, whatever it is, I can say, hey, look, I have plenty of money to go racing now. Let me go get a sprint car for myself. Let me go and just go have fun doing it. Not try to make a career out of it. But so, it's a sad realization. But it was, I think that's the smartest thing for me to do for myself is to worry about more of a business perspective. And you see guys doing it. You see guys come and go out of the sport, and it's due to lack of money, not lack of ability. There's plenty of drivers who are in race cars who have no business being in race cars, but they're there because of the dollar they bring. I think we saw that in the ARCA race on the dirt. It's like, you guys are going to call yourself race car drivers, be able to adapt, and you're in a Vinerini car and almost get out qualified by Tim Richmond. Like, the kid's got a lot to go, but overall, I think I like there's plenty of people who should have opportunities in the sport of racing, and I'm not saying I'm one of them, but the realization that you've got to make a business for yourself, I think, is bigger than the fact of trying to chase an unchaseable dream.
Yeah, I think we'll see you. Do you want to ever try a stock car again?
I don't think so. I doubt. There's this, not that I don't like driving race cars, not that I don't like driving stock cars. They're fun. They're fun at certain tracks. I don't like, in all honesty, it's not fun going to some of the little tracks. Like, some of the little tracks I hate, like just the little random Saturday night places. Not a big fan of. For instance, going to New Smyrna and Five Flags, and when they went to Mobile, and we went to Greenville at times, and Berlin. I'm not calling these racetracks out. They're beautiful facilities in their way, but I never really had fun at those places. The places that I had fun were the Bristol, Iowas, New Hampshires, big racetracks. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not trying to take anything away from those tracks. I think those tracks are great, but I think overall, if you look at the majority of what I had fun at, it was the Bristols, Iowas, New Hampshires, Dovers. That was fun. And for me to be able to go race at those racetracks, I'm looking at having to spend, if I want to run an ARCA car, $80,000 to run a good car for a race. And if you want to run a truck, you're looking at $150,000 to go run those tracks. For what? I'm not going to make a career out of it. So what's the point of wasting money doing it? Go have something that I could spend $80,000. I could spend half that and run a whole year of sprint cars, and have fun doing it. So yeah, maybe later on down the road I'll get back into it. But right now I'm definitely going to take a break.
All right. Chase Cabre, thank you so much, buddy. I've known you for so long. I'm proud to call you friend, and I'm excited to see what your journey holds on. Let me know if you ever need anything, bud.
I appreciate it. Thank you.